Hi, Internet viewers. Frank Rauscher again. We are working on the bunting and got both sides marked. We got this side and this side all marked up in pencil. I hope you did all this by now. And I gave you all the dimensions on how to locate this and everything else on here. And what we're going to do is now refine this so we can bring this head out so that we can really get the shape of the head in place. And that'd be the first thing we do. We'll get to the wings like I was mentioning before. I sort of brought that up, but that's something that will be done a little later. Right now, I always felt as though when we're doing a carving, if you can get the face right, a lot of other things will flow from that. So that's my approach to this. So we're going to get into putting in the beak, the eyes, and I'm going to show you how to do all that. And then we'll get everything in shape. Then, maybe by the next video, we may get into the wings and stuff like that. We'll see how things go. The biggest problem I try to do is keep it within a reasonable number. And I try to keep it, sometimes I get over an hour, and that's pretty long. And I don't want you to digest everything. It's coming at you. So some things I feel as though, like on the last video, I got to a certain point, I felt as though that was enough for you. If you could accomplish that, and now that we get into the rest of it, I'll show you how to do it. And it breaks it up, and it's not giving you so much all at once, okay? So I'm trying to do that, and we'll see how that goes. For anybody that wants to try this bird, okay, and this is the finished product right here. This is the Lazuli Bunting, okay, and these are pretty birds, okay. There's the painted bunting. There's several of them out there, and you could alternate. Even with the same shapes and the length and everything else, you can make the other varieties as well. So that happens with a lot of birds. Like the male and the female generally are different colors, not always, but on some species they are. So you could do a male and a female, and basically use the same pattern, so you can't go too far wrong. And I picked the length when I did my original one, and in one book it was shorter. This one is more typical of the length that's out there in a lot of books. So I'm trying to give you a variety. Everybody measures it, and it always comes up a little different, but we're in the ballpark, okay? So that's what I'm trying to do. So as I was getting back to you, if anybody is interested in getting into this, I do have kits available, and I have it comes with the pattern, the feet, the eyes, and so on. And if you need something, hey, definitely contact me through my email. I can send you out a catalog. You can see how that is set up, and you can, if there's things you want to purchase other than just what I'm using. I have other things too, but it's not everything in the catalog. It's about a 6-sheet catalog, and if you're interested in stuff, I'll try to guide you in just getting what you need, not everything you need. So just keep that in mind. I'm not trying to sell you the store. I'm really not. I'm trying to just give you what you may need. And and I'm also going to ask you, if you're enjoying the videos as we go, I would ask you to give me a thumbs up, because that helps my count for YouTube. And if you could subscribe as well, and then if you could pass this on, to your friends and everything else, oh boy, that really helps greatly, because it grows my channel, and it really helps in the algorithms or whatever it is that they do. So I thank you again. So definitely contact me. And it doesn't have to be this bird. If there's other birds that you see out there, because I've done several that you may be interested in, and you want to follow along with those videos, they're out there. Just give me a holler. What I do is basswood blanks, and that's a real good carving wood. So you get to feed the eyes and everything going with. So just wanted to give you a heads up on that. I'm going to bring the camera down. We're going to keep on marching on, trying to get the bunting done. Okay, so bear with me. Okay, here we go. The first thing I want to do to get started here on starting to relieve the face and bringing it out is I want to get the beak going. Remember I was mentioning to you on the last video that this line of action for the beak comes from here at the back of the beak, off the line, and then comes up and goes below the line on this. So it has a little bit of an arc. And then you do the same thing on the other side. So it goes up, off the beak line, and then comes down below the beak line. And when you're looking straight in, it should sort of look like it's smiling on you. So let me start you out like this. Now, I use PJL Enterprises burners, and these are Optima burners. And what I'm going to do, excuse me 1 second, I need to clean a point here because I've been getting a lot of dirt and what have you. So I've got this on a number 6 on my machine, but this can vary on each one. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to burn right in the back and come up the front. Remember, it drops just lower than that. So I hope you can see this. I'm going to come in here and follow my pencil line. And it should just drop a little below the tip. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So plug that in, roll that over, and drop that down. So you should have something that looks like that. I hope you can see that well. Now, what we want to do from here, I'm going to use a diamond flame tip, but I'm going to also let you know you could do this with a ruby flame tip. Okay, and for those who have gotten my bullet, the diamond bullet, you can use this too. Any one of these will work fine as far as getting in here. The diamond bullet is not available anymore, so I can't get a hold of them. It seems like manufacturers come and go right now, and I'm trying to get sources that I could get what I had before. So just letting you know that. But for now, we're going to use the diamond flame, okay? And I'm going to use that. And I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do with the diamond flame. I'm going to get it in. And by the way, I'm using these micro grinders. This is a ram. They work this way. You click this way, you can take the bit in and out. Now this is the 3/32 shaft. It does take a 1/8 inch one just by pulling this collet out. So if anybody ever needs any of these, I just slide them in and you can do an automatic change just as fast. And you click this way to open it and it comes in and out. And then I click it the other way and it locks it in place, okay? I do have a box. It's a rheostat that controls the speed. I can go forward and reverse, and I can do all the way up to 45,000 RPM. So I have some that do 35 too. So I'm going to show you what I need to do here now that I've talked all that. You have a center line, which is coming straight up here, and you have this burn here. Now, what you have is it's sort of like the facets that are coming up here. What I want to do is go from this line to this line and angle it so it just slopes up. So I'm going to grind along this line that came out on a 45-degree angle and then swings around and comes down. I'm going to grind all of this. So first I'll cut this in. Then I'll slide this back so that it slopes from this line to here. Okay, so let me show you how I do that. So I'm doing about, I think this one's 45,000. I'm going to come in right along that line on the beak side now. So I'm cutting in there. Well, if you see that well, I get a slight depression. I'm going to try to get a pencil mark down in there so that you can see that a little bit better, because it gets a little lost, but it's down in there and this sticks out now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the back of the flame, the middle I should say, to flatten this. So I'm going to come out. I don't want to take that much off of the tip. You don't want to go out to the very tip and take material off. You're trying to get everything else sloping, but be very careful not to take material off that you end up shortening the bill, okay? So you got to be gentle up there, but you got to be a little more aggressive in here. So what I've ended up doing is I've got a slope that goes from the burn up to the center line. And I go right on up to that cut that I did. And I'll do that on the other side as well. I'm going to come in here. Here we go again. And getting the tip right along the pencil line. Same way here. And I'll get my pencil just so that you can see a little bit of the depth better than the way it was before. Here's the center line. I don't want to lose that. Okay. But you can see how this has been recessed a little bit, but the pencil line's still there. Now, I'm going to slope it from the top down to the burn. So I'm going to use the middle to the back of the bit because I can get that to flatten more. Okay? So what you end up with is like a facet. You got one going this way, you got one going this way. Okay? And it comes right up to the center and it comes down to the burn on both sides. Now, let me shut this off. I'm going to highlight this one. This is the lower part of the bill. This comes right across, straight across, and it comes to the other side. And we have that backward C here. Okay, and this was 1/8 of an inch down if you didn't get that. I am going to, from this center line now that we have established, I'm going to slope it from here to the burn. But first I'm going to undercut the C. And you got to get your point right in there. That's how we did it up top. I'm going to come in. with that tip of your beak in there. I mean, you have the tip of your bit, not beak, sorry. So I sort of undercut around the pencil line, and you can see that right here. Okay. And then I sort of lost my straight line coming across. Now, I'm going to come in here and slope from the center line back to the C. Okay. So I'm losing my bottom line here a little bit, but we can put that right back in there. So it's sloping from here to here. It's a little trickier, it's a little smaller, but once you get the angle in there, you're trying to make a facet on each corner, all four corners here. So I'm going to do it on this side. So here we go again. We go right into this, around the C. Then I'm trying to slope it down to this pencil line and up to the burn line. And I'm going gentle on the end, of your beak area. You don't want to, you're not aggressive. You're not going to be aggressive here at all, because if you are, you're going to shorten this beak. I do not want to do that, okay? So I have facets in there now of this, 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 and this, okay? So I'm going to put these pencil lines in because they tend to get hit with my bit, and that's okay too. You can always put them back in the same way up here. I just want you to see everything as best as you can, because you're seeing it from the camera. I don't know how much it's giving you, but what I want to do now is I want to put some shape to the beak. The beak tends to come down and roll into the split here of the beak, and the same way when it comes up, it's going to roll in, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But the first thing I want to do again is I'm going to come back with the burner, and I'm only going to burn the back half. It's from this back here. I'm going to burn it a little deeper because we have to reduce this bill. This bill is just a little too wide, and eventually we're going to reduce that. So, but we're going to get back to that too. So I go back into my burn again. Notice I didn't come all the way out to the end, okay? I wanted to go deeper on the back end. So now what I want to do is I'm going to put like a chamfer on each line, on the bottom of this burn line and on the top, and I'm going to roll it out. So here's how we do it. I'm going to come in here. I'm getting the tip of the bit in there. And you can see like there's a little highlight that sort of shows up. That means it's rolling inward, and it's got an edge that came out. So I'm going to round that edge the same way as the slope. Okay, we're going like this. Now, we're going to do the same thing to the top. I'm going to come in here on a 45-degree angle. See? It's just a little bit now. You've got to be gentle with this. And then I roll it up and around to follow the slope. So this now looks like it dips in a little bit in here, and it looks like it does this way. And if needs be, you can come back and do that again to make it look proper. Here we go again. I'm going to do it on this side. I'll do the bottom first. And I don't take it almost all the way out. I stop short of going out to the tip. So you can see that little white area that I just cleaned off with the bit. It sort of goes into the burn and then gets an edge out here. Then I roll the edge around. And I'll even go back in there again just to make it look like it's rolling around. Then I'll do the same thing to the top. Because both the top and the bottom of the bill rolls inward, right at the split here. Okay, and you got to be gentle with that. So there's what I'm trying to achieve. Okay, hope you can see that well. And it may not have to be perfect, but we're gonna come back to the beak again here because the beak width, as I have it here, is 1/8 of an inch on either side. So from here out, it's only 1/8 of an inch wide. From here out, it's 1/8 of an inch wide. So we're going to reduce this again, but right at the moment, I'm going to just give this a break here. We also have to refine this beak a little bit more, even besides reducing it this way. It does has a shape that we are going to cut in at the top here a little bit this way, and we're going to cut in on the bottom this way. So this beak will sort of shape up a little bit more. It'll have like a little bit of an arc on the bottom and a little bit of an arc on the top. Even though we have it sort of boxed in there, it's not done yet. So what I'm going to move on to, just to dress out the rest, and then we'll come back and we'll address the beak. We have this cheek area here that we developed, and for those, just to let you know, from the beak to here, the length of the beak was 3/8. Then from here to the eye was 1/4 inch. So that's how we got this established. And then from the eye back to the end of the cheek, which is this area right here, that was 7/16. So just in case you missed that on the last video. Now, the first thing I want to do is locate the eyes. And remember what I said to you before. I'm going to make sure that you have this corrected just right, okay? This eye here and this eye here should be straight across from each other. And one way you can do that, once you put this in, you run that perpendicular line up to the top. Then you want to get a perpendicular line from one side to the other. And that's all this line is just a reference. And then you drop it down the side and it goes right through the eye. So your eyes are exactly where they need to be, okay? And you need to make sure that's correct. It's the same way with the cheek, the 7/16 back and the 7/16 back is correct, because sometimes they walk on you. You know, when you're undercutting, it tends to move. So you want to check that. So to make sure everything's correct before we start grinding away here. Now, the next move I want to get is I use, it's a diamond ball. I think it's a diamond or a ruby, but I use it like a burnisher. It's really, most of the grit is off, and I use it to put the hole in for the eye, and that's what we're going to go. Now, the eye goes right here, and I'm going to drive that straight in along that line of action here, okay, which is helpful too, to see how you're going in the right direction. So what I'm going to do is get it in far enough that it gets to this line here, because the actual eye is going to be on this portion of the head. When we reduce it down, this will be the top of the head. This is the cheek area out here where my thumbs are, but this comes back. So this eye will end up being up here. Well, not up here, but I mean on that line, I should say. So here we go. So I'm going to at least put it far enough in, and it literally burns its way through. So I'm guaranteeing that I'm staying on track here. So I'm following that line of action there, and I'm staying within my, you can put like a little dimple just to get it started. You can see it literally burns its way through. And I like this. I like this better than a drill. But hey, to each his own, you know. So I'm driving that straight in. And I'm trying to see, the ball is almost all the way in there. So I got that one set. Now I'm going to come on this side and do the exact same thing. I get a little dimple, make sure I'm on target, you know, and I'm within that circle and that the crosshairs. And then I lean in. Now, depending on how much material you have up here, some of you may have to go a little deeper, and some of you just, the one beautiful thing is, once we start putting the eye channel in and things like that, if the eye starts to disappear on you, you can always come back with this bit and do it again, okay? Because you do have the hole in there. So we've established where the eye is, and we now have it locked in, okay? So what I want to do now is I want to create this cheek, and this has an eye channel. This here is the line of action for the eye channel. It comes all the way back to here, and I have it on this side from here right on through. Now let me also outline the cheeks, because we're going to go after that. Excuse me. So we have those. So you can see this. I want to make sure you can see it, so I'm heavying this up, just so you know. And you remember how this worked. This was from the eye back, it was 7/16, and it was from the eye center line down, it is 7/16 also. So it's like a square in here. It's a rectangle. And what we did is we came out of the eye in the back. This is a tangent point. This is a tangent point, and this is a tangent point. It's like doing half a circle right there. And then before you get off of this line, you got to at least be 1/8 of an inch up to flow up to the split in the beak. And you do that on both sides, okay? Now, I like to go with a ruby pear. And the reason why I use the ruby pear, I taught for years, and you can use a diamond one too if you have it and so on. But the ruby doesn't cut as fast, but it's controllable is the way I like it. And this way I felt as though my students don't get in trouble with it by taking too much out. Now, the first thing I want to do is I need to get an eye channel that goes right through here. And what we're trying to do is get this channel and all this material here up to this line eventually. But we'll start by putting the eye channel, and I'll show you how to do that. Wow. Let me check that bit out. That is really making some noise. Let's see if I think that one. Yeah, yeah. Let me see if I have another one here. When a bit makes that kind of noise, it usually means that it's at a round. So I'm going to leave that one for a second, and if you'll bear with me, I'll grab another one. Okay, let's hope this one isn't as noisy as that one. Wow. You know, when they make that humming noise, that means somebody's been leaning on that bit, and the shaft probably just gets bent a little bit. Let's see if it's a plier. This isn't as bad, but we'll go with this one for now. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lay this bit right on the line, the middle of it, and take it straight on back. So here we go. I don't want to go on to the beak now, okay? So I'm laying it here. I'm taking it back. And I'm coming up to that rise and fall we had here. Remember, of this? That's still there, but I came pretty close. That channel edge is here and up here for that eye channel, okay? And I want it to follow this line, not totally, but get pretty close. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and push the back of this to be straight with this one, okay? And I'm trying to go in this direction rather than go out, but we'll work it. We'll work it, even if you don't get there. So we have a channel, and I'm trying to get this channel almost so that when I'm looking in, this edge and this edge are lined up with each other. So we're pretty close here already. So if I put a pencil line in just behind the eye, it should line up with this mark up here that we have on the top of the head, okay? So now I'm going to try to aid you in watching what I'm doing here. Here's that cheek, I call it, and you do have the eye channel that comes back like this. See, I'm just putting in the pencil line so you can see it. And this will come around like this, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to undercut behind this line all the way up to about right underneath the eye, and then I'm going to get shallow because I don't want to hit that C. I want to come up and get shallow by the time I get here. I don't want to go on a beak. I don't want to get rid of the C, but I do want to get this undercut just slightly. But we're from about here all the way back. We're going to take out a good amount of material. So let me show you how I do that. Here we go. I'm going to lay I'm undercutting that sheath. And if you notice, that pencil line is still there. Okay, it comes around into this eye channel, like that. And I come up to the eye, okay. And it's down, maybe right now, maybe a good 1/16 or more. Then I'm going to go shallow from here up. I'm just going to slightly work it back, okay, like that. Now, what I ended up having here, and I'll get my pencil out. This is the other side of that channel. I have the edge over here, which left the pencil line right there, okay? And then this is the channel edge over on this side. I'm going to ask you to blend this all out. even back to here. Okay, so here we go. And the other thing you could use too, these are called it's a ruby flame, which works out great too. Let me show you. Maybe this will be a better bit. Either one are very similar. Okay, you could do the channel with that because it still has the nice thickness, and it's almost like a pear, except that it's a flame, and you can get the point right up to the where you need to be. So let me switch over and show you this one. This is a ruby also, and I really like these because they really work well. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come in here, and on this edge that was created here, when I ran that other bit right through here, I want to blend all of this back. Not taking a lot out, but just blending this back. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm trying to blend it back into the body without taking a lot of material out. And what's going to happen is the cheek's going to pop out. Okay, so I'm just taking enough so that I'm blending away that channel that we created, and I smooth it out, even a little further out, but not to leave like bumps or anything else. This is nice and smooth right in here, okay? And everything, I hit the pencil mark, but that's no big deal. That's right there. I'm gonna mark the pencil mark with the cheek and bring it up. Now, if I miss the spot or something, that's the nice part about the fat flame, the ruby one. Okay, you can clean that out. Just remember, you're shallow up here, but you're deeper from the eye back. And then you blend it back, okay? And the ruby does a nice job, it really does. And you want to blend even the eye channel. Just came back like this, okay? Now, here's what I want you to do now. We have this cheek like raised up. We also have an edge of the channel that we ran, the eye channel going through here. That went all the way through going to back here. Okay, but there's an edge here. So what I want to do is I want to come on a 45-degree chamfer all the way around this line and then get shallow as I come up here because I don't want to go on a beak. And at the same time, I want to get rid of this edge. Okay, this will become a high spot. And then once I get this rolling around, this will become high. And then from the back of the eye forward, I want it to slope up to the beak without, touching the beak. So here we go. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to take a 45-degree chamfer all the way around, all the way down to that pencil line. When I see that pencil line going, I know I got down there, okay? I'm going to come around here. Let me come back here again. Just going to go a little deeper. Let me get my pencil back here and show you that cheek right there. And I'm going to take a 45-degree chamfer down to that pencil line. And then as I come up, I get real gentle up to the top here. Now, let me clean this up here. Now, I'm going to roll this because I have a little bit of an edge here and I have a little bit of an edge coming up to here. So I'm going to just roll this over lightly. Okay, this is very light now. And then from the back of the eye up, I'm going to slope that. Okay. So what happens is it looks like from the back of the eye forward, everything slopes up to the beak line. I mean the beak itself, not the beak line. So here we go. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to come around, up and over. So this is rolling from one side to the other and up to here. This becomes a high spot, and then everything slopes down. Sometimes you have to come back in and lower it a little bit more. Okay. Now, the measurement you should have from the center of the head out to here is 7/16. So you can measure that to make sure you have 7/16 out straight, from this edge as you're looking down here, it's 7/16. And if you don't have it, you can just go a little deeper, each time to get that dressed out. And then you want to smooth everything out. Okay? Now, here's the thing. I was saying that this eye channel has to be back to that line. This is now that interior line. So I want to come in and level everything down almost to that line. Okay? So watch me here. I'm going to sort of take the middle of this bit and I'm going to check myself to make sure that I'm coming right up to this line. And at the same time, I'm getting into the channel too. So I'm sort of making a wall from this line straight up to here. I'll show you in a second. Let me just get that channel in there a little bit more. You're starting to see that here's that mark. And that mark, by the way, is 5/16 out from the center. So from here out, it's 5/16 right here. And of course, it's tapering in to the tip of the beak here, like this. And it's doing the same thing on the other side. Okay, so it comes around, comes to the tip of the beak like that. But what happens is we're trying to create a wall that's from the eye straight up. Now you can see this is coming back more. This is coming straight back. And I've got some more material back here. And that's the same way. I'll move this back because I need to make that one the same. So here we go. I'm going to come in here and make sure my eye channel is continuing. Then I'm going to bring this all back so that my wall is coming straight up to this line. Okay? And you don't want to go in on it, you want to go straight up. Okay? Now, as I'm doing this, sometimes what you see, you missed or something like that. There is an edge still here where this cheek came around. I want to soften that. So I'm going to come in on that one. I'll soften that a little bit. Just a little bit because it still should be rolling around. This back here needs to be blended because anything away from that cheek gets blended back like that. Okay. Now, if you look in here, you'll see that there's like a wall right at the top here, almost straight up from the eye, okay? Now, here's what I want to do. I'm going to do like a 45-degree chamfer right along this edge. Let me mark it out here. This whole edge, I'm going to make a chamfer. I'm going to come across here with my bit. It'll widen it from here to here, and then I'm going to roll it towards the center. I'm not taking anything out off in the center. So here we go. I'm going to come in here like this. I'm going to come all the way down to the beak, but not on the beak. I still have that rise and fall in the front. I chamfered that, so I'm rolling this around, and I'm taking out all those saw marks and stuff like that, right on up, and it's just a gentle roll after that. Just take your time when you're doing it. Now, you're starting to see some shape where it's starting to look like the head of the bird, and it's not squared up, okay? So, that's not bad. And I got that right on up to here, but not touching the beak. It still has that rise and fall. And I got that rolling back, and I blend everything out accordingly, okay? So you have everything's nice and smooth. If you have some hard edges in there, use the back middle to the back of the bit and round it off, okay? Just like that. So there's half the head out, okay? Now, I'm going to come in here because this line of action should come right up to the beak. I'm going to try to just undercut this just a little bit right in this area here. So I'm coming in just a little bit, and then I'm rolling this to the center. So I still have the C here. I still have this line of action coming across, but I need to roll this. I don't want this, you'll feel like an edge in here. I'm going to ask you to slightly round that over. Not totally round, because you have a little bit of a flat under here, but for the most part, it's rolling around. So your head and your throat and everything else are starting to lose the squareness of the piece, okay? So that doesn't look too bad. I'm not saying it's perfect, but we're looking pretty good there. So let's go to the other side. We're doing the exact same thing again, okay? So here we go. I'm going to lay the bit, the middle of the bit, right on the line, and let's get that extended out here. The eye channel comes out this way. Okay, so I'm going to lay this in here. I don't want to go onto the beak, so I'll make a pass to get an eye channel started. I'll come up, but I still want that little lip before you go onto the beak. So we'll come in here like that. I'll take the rest of it back. And what I'm trying to do is get this channel, the bottom of this channel, lined up with that pencil line. So you may have more material here. You may have to go a little deeper to get there, okay? And I would do it in stages. If you're, kind of scared that, oh, I may be going too deep, do it once or twice, you know what I mean? You don't have to do it all at once. So here we go. I'm going to run this back here so you can see it. Normally, yeah, I know where it's at, but I want you to see it. And that's why I'm going back and marking this all out again. so that you can see what I'm trying to achieve here. So I'm going to put this back in there just to highlight it, because when you're grinding, the dust sort of covers up some stuff, okay? So we have now an eye channel. I can't say it's there yet. We still have to go deeper, but I'm going to stop right here to try to get the cheek out. We have this edge, remember. We're going to undercut from about here all the way back and around to here, and we're taking material out so that the cheek can pop out. Then we go shallow as we come up here, okay? So here we go. So I'm going to undercut along the line, get the point in there, but you don't want to take the pencil mark out. I'm going to grind away so that the cheek starts popping up, okay? And then I get to the eye, and when I come up to the C here, I'm going to be shallow. It's going to lift it a little bit, maybe a 30-second or something like that, but it's back here. It's here. You want to go deeper and make sure you're blending it out, because you don't want to just cut in there. Now, I have like stuff right here. I could see me the way. If I get my pencil, let me just show you. And I cut this out. Here's the line of action. Okay, here and here and here. And this has to be blended away here. It has to be blended back here. This is a big chunk I just took out, so this gets raised. And then I got to get rid of all this. So before I go too much further, I'm going to blend that back into the body. You really have to, I always try to blend away so I know how far I have to take things out. So I'm blending this back into the body nicely. I'm not trying to make bigger divots. I'm doing this as a controlled roll. So, and I make it look easy maybe if you haven't done this before, but take your time, you know, and even if you have to do it a couple of times, you know, it's better to be in control than to get really rambunctious. I used to have some students that, you know, if you didn't watch them, they'd take too much out, and then the fun starts. So here's what I got so far. And I still have like a little bit of a high point right here. So I just want to blend things around so that it looks like it doesn't have bumps in it. You know what I mean? Now, we have this cheek, and you can see the pencil line still here. The pencil line's still here. So I'm going to come to the bottom here and roll it around so you can see how much I lifted in there, okay? Now, like I said, if you took a measurement where you laid your ruler and you put it right on the center line of the head, and you have to measure out to this outside edge here, that should measure 7/16. So this is still not there, but I'm going to start by taking this down and gradually doing it a second time. So I'll show you how I do this. I go on a 45-degree chamfer down to that line. I'm going to come around here. Okay. And then from the eye back, it's a 45 chamfer. Then you end up with a high point here. So I'll smooth that out. light cuts. Then as it comes forward, I'm going to slope it, excuse me, up to the eye channel, right up in here. Now, okay. Now I'll get my pencil mark. I'll put this back in. Here's the eye channel. Here's the cheek coming up. And I'm going to take a measurement right now to make sure that both sides have 7/16 out. So if I take a ruler and I measure out, I got a little bit more to do here, and I got a little bit more to do here too. So they're both a little bit high. So I'm going to take some more material down gradually, and I can see I still have an edge right in here. You still have to have a lift here, but right back here I'm going to smooth that out too. So here we go. I'm going to get that point in. I'm going to start it right here. If you can see that. Okay. Now, the dome right in here, I'm going to try to lower a little bit more. Okay. Stay within my cheek area. And get it nice and smooth. And it tapers up to here. From the eye area up, it slopes up. Now, there's one thing I didn't tell you. Okay, we got that. Oh, I got to do the other side. That's right. Excuse me. I need to take this down a little bit more. Let me get the pencil mark in there, because that really helps you to see. Sometimes you can't know all where your boundaries are. It sort of gets faded away. So I'm going to just roll this so within the cheek area, still leaving the pencil line there, and taking it back a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm letting the bit do the walking for me, okay? Now, what we want to do is, let's see how far the eye channel is. Okay. I think the eye channel has to go in a little deeper in here. And I'm bringing it up to the beak outline, but I'm not taking it away. There is a lip still right there. So I think this channel is almost directly on top, at that area of what's on the head here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to level this straight down to follow this line. Okay, so here we go. First I'm going to concentrate right in here and bring this in. Okay. I'm almost flattening it. Excuse me. So I have a little bit more to do here. And get the top. I'm trying to take that back. And what I'm going to do is make a pass with that channel again, right on up in there. And I'm going to slightly roll that. Now, Here's that. I'm out here. I still got to go back further. So I still need to take material back right here. I'm not there yet. We're pretty close now. We're getting right up to that line. Okay, see? Now, what I want to do that I got to show you as well is see how this line now comes around to that tip of that beak as it comes back into the body here. So from here, and the same way over in here, that came out this way, the same way, I need to clean this area up. So I'm going to get the tip of that beak, the bit, right to follow this pencil line. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm sort of opening up the channel to come up to that pencil line right there. But I still have a rise and fall on the beak. Okay, now I'm going to come in here. Now, before I get too far, I'm going to show you again. Here's my cheek. Now, I have an area right in here that had not been blended away, so I'm going to blend that away now. That's that eye channel that I brought back this way. Now I need to just blend this back into the body here like this. Okay, and it sort of pulls back in this way, and then this head sort of comes up to it. Now, we want now, on this edge, coming back, put a 45-degree chamfer in there, and then roll it to the center without, it's going to have a little bit of a flat before it gets to the center. So it's not a complete rollover. I'm going to start here. I got that 45-degree chamfer, roll this around here, roll this up to the center line of the head center line, all the way back to here. So, you see that? So you get the wall out of the way, get those edges, and come back. Now the bird's starting to look like a bird. Now we have still some cheek lines in here. I'm going to come in and clean that up. I'm going to clean the throat up. This rolls around to this center line here. Okay. And clean this side up. Then I have to come in here with this eye channel. Comes right on up to the beak line, but not the beak line, but the beak shape. Almost went into that. I think I may have. Let me see. No, I didn't. Here it is here. And I came close, but I still have a lip right in there. So I'm going to smooth this out up to this line. Okay, which is this swinging around through here. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to clean this up right here. This is just a straight up and a little bit of a rollover. Now your bird's head is really coming together here. So now it's starting to look like the bird, okay? From one side to the other. And everything, you do a light touch on this when you're taking stuff out. You're not being aggressive. The only time you're being a little aggressive is around the cheek area here, but not forward of it, okay? And remember that everything sort of slopes from behind the eye forward, okay? This all slopes up. You don't want it puffy. It's only puffy right in here, and then everything slides down, okay? And the same way here. This is the high point of the cheek, and then once you get from behind the eye here, everything slopes this way, okay? So let me check the time frame here. I'm going to stop this video for a second and see how much we have, and then I'll see if I want to continue on. So bear with me 1 second. Yeah, I just checked my time on this. I'm going to stop right at this point and hope you can achieve all of this. You know, you have, just remember, the cheek comes around like this up to that point, and same way this way up to that point. And you want to get everything smooth and sliding up this way from behind the eye, but this becomes a high point. So if you could get all this smoothed out and everything else, I would appreciate it. And then I'll show you the rest that we need to do. We have a little bit more to do on the head, and I'll get you there, and a little bit more on the beak. So I'm going to just stop it now. So if you enjoyed what you see, and if you would subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up, I greatly appreciate that. And then we'll keep on, like on the next video. I think we'll definitely finish the head, and then maybe do a little bit on the wings. We got the beak to do yet, and a few other things. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you on the next video. And check in my video information. My email address is there if you ever want to try it, or any of the kits I have available, and bits and machinery. I sell all of it. So see you on the next video, and hope you enjoyed it. Bye.